In today's news, BVI pilots shine at American Airlines and Premier Fahie saying, as a territory, we are not corrupt.
Virgin Gorda man dies following motorcycle accident, and Unite BVI introduces a mental health support series. All this and more when 284 News returns.
The win! Oh!
What are the hell?
I'm freaking out!
Is time.
284 News.
Coming to you live and direct from the beautiful British Virgin Islands.
What's poppin'? What's really good? What's happening? What's happening? What's up?
Davis has won it for the
Welcome everybody. It's Monday, November 16th, 2020. We're coming to you live and direct from our home, our paradise in the beautiful British Virgin Islands. I'm Ron Grant.
And my name is Javon Wilson. Welcome to a brand new week of local, regional, and international news with us here at 284 News. Now, great news to kick off our news week. And it's because of two of our very own, Ron, making history in the Virgin Islands. Now, one of two pilots, Mr. Kennard de Castro, made a post to Facebook today that stated, and I quote, "So this is happening today. To the best of my knowledge, there are only 3 pilots from the British Virgin Islands employed at American Airlines. Only 2 of us are Airbus pilots. Today is the first time in history that American Airlines or any other airline has had an all BVI cockpit crew. Not a big deal if you're not from the BVI, but it's a really big deal to us." Captain Kennard de Castro and First Officer Alverson Lex Davies. "We have known each other for 30 years.
Wow.
End of quote. Now, Ron, such a monumental day for the Virgin Islands. We like to say a small island doing big things, especially on the international scene. And I think this is a perfect replica of that. And very unfortunate news in Virgin Gorda. 30-year-old Mr. Glendon Young, a.k.a. Also known, as Tasher, has lost his life following a motorcycle accident in Virgin Gorda. Now, the police has since confirmed his death. And Ron, a really sad situation. We do know that he died on his way to the hospital, but police at this point are still unclear what would have led to the accident, but they found him in a pool of blood. So at this time, we'd just like to extend our condolences and, of course, wish the police force all the best in their investigations.
Continuing on our news summary, millions have been spent for public officers to work remotely and local school poised to have the first net billing metering system in the British Virgin Islands. Also, a heartbreaking loss for the residents of Boggers Bay as a vigil held in honor of Everton McMaster. A very painful event where we see persons came out to pay tribute. In addition, the government targets new investment or investors to invest in the Stay program. Now, we're going to have all the details today and onward.
All right. Now, Premier of the Virgin Islands, Honorable Andrew A. Foy, is now really confused at the recent headlines inspired by Governor Jasper's statement on organized crime in the BVI following the recent $250 million drug bust. Now, during the budget address, the Premier said, and I quote, "This is a well-calculated attempt to try and stain the good name of the many hard-working, law-abiding citizens, the local law enforcement agencies, and the BVI love economy," end of quote. The Premier further added, "The latest buzz does not show that our system is corrupt, but rather it shows that our systems and our officers stand up for what is right. I am calling those with hidden agenda who are in covert ways trying to different strategies and using vulnerable opportunities to prevent the Virgin Islands from truly achieving the mandate given by the United Nations in Article 73 of the United Nations Charter for former colonies to become self-governing and to go and erase the irresponsible labeling of the BVI system and our people as corrupt." Premier Fahie further added, viewers, that the messaging takes away from the capabilities and good intentions of the majority of law enforcement. He said, and I quote once again, "Given the latest announcement on the biggest drug bust in the BVI, the overseas territories, and the United Kingdom, it is important to note that what was lost from the message is that our local enforcement is capable of handling crimes of these significant nature and size. In closing, Premier Fahie said, once again, I am calling on all those who would have called the Virgin Islands corrupt to take it out of the atmosphere and share the real truth with the local media and international media, the United Kingdom media, and even the Twitter media. What is the real truth? The truth is our people working together has shown that they will leave no stone unturned and that there are no sacred cows when it comes to deterring criminal activities. Now, Ron, while the Premier was very careful not to call any names, it is easy for us to assume that this is in direct response to the Governor of the Virgin Islands, of course, Governor J.U. Jasper,
Yes.
following the drug bust and the subsequent announcement. And very strong comments coming from the Governor as well. He has said very clearly that we are very vulnerable to transnational and transregional organized crime. He has said also this does not seem to be a one-off event, and further strongly indicating that this is something that happens all the time,
Right.
and really speaks of the level of corruption in the BVI community. And we've seen the back and forth between the government and the Governor of the Virgin
yes.
Islands. And I think outside of those elements, I think the community can safely and smartly decide for themselves what the true situation is.
Jovan, you're absolutely right. The facts are there, and I think both on the part of the governor and the premier, they're both, it's a matter of opinion, simply.
That's absolutely.
Continuing on the local scene, Unite BVI has introduced a mental health support series. The Unite BVI Foundation has partnered with Kelly Boss to produce a short online mental health support series entitled Overcoming Together, Wellness Through Uncertainty. Now, Mrs. Boss, a social worker who practices psychotherapy for individual, marriage, and family relationships, interviewed several persons in the British Virgin Islands on their personal and professional experiences with the pandemic, coping strategies, and advice for others. Now, the interviewees included Dr. Virginia Rubain, Sharia DeCastro, Stacey Mather, Terry Benjamin, Mr. Henderson Tittle, Dr. Mike Turnbull, Kristen Fraser, Sarah Penny, and Greg George. Foundation manager, Ms. Lauren Kelly, said, and I quote, Unite BVI Foundation founded the series in an effort to shed light on some of the mental health issues that the Virgin Islands residents may be facing as a result of the global pandemic that is COVID-19, and to provide supportive resources and advice for mental health professionals and respected members of our community. Now, Mrs. Boss said the BVI residents have faced a lot of uncertainty due to the hurricanes and floods of 2017 and the 2020 pandemic. She said, and I quote, as I interviewed these amazing experts, I was reminded of the strength and solidarity people show in hard times. Each of these individuals had their own stress, loss, and unknowns, but acted as helpers and pivoted their plans to find ways to help the community at large. I hope the series provides those watching with validation for the difficulties experienced collectively, practical tips to implement in their lives, and inspiration to continue to overcome together. Now, viewers, to view the series, visit Unite BVI's Facebook page at www.facebook.com/UniteBVIofficial.com. For those of you who don't know, Unite BVI Foundation is a non-for-profit organization with a mission to bridge resources and needs through trusted partnerships for the benefit of BVI communities and environmental conservation. Its vision is to create opportunities that inspire and empower a generation of world changers, starting right here in our beautiful BVI. Jovan, a lovely series. I had the opportunity to check it out myself. Very honest and candid responses from many of these persons. Mental health is still a conversation that we dodge here in the BVI. It's not liked, it's not talked about, and it surely does not sell. But I think it's important for persons to understand that while they don't want to openly speak about challenges that they might be facing, there is power in a testimony. And I think that is what's going to be highlighted in this series, because a lot of persons, a lot of professionals, experts, we see them negating and continuing to do their duties with style, class, and elegance, but not understanding that they too are human beings. And this pandemic itself has also affected them. So congratulations to Unite BVI on a wonderful series.
Absolutely. And Ron, you and I both know as professionals as well that we are not isolated from that process. I think what this pandemic has taught even the strongest of people is that we're all affected in some way. We're all struggling. in some way with this pandemic. So I'm very happy to see. It's unfortunate that we are connected through struggle,
Yes.
but very important that we continue to tap into community because we're not as different as we think. Viewers, want to go to a quick commercial break, but when we come back, Bob Marley is 8 on Forbes List for the 2020 top earnings for dead celebrities. And I mean, there's so much more after this commercial break.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Now, great news from the region. Reggae legend Bob Marley is now among the top earning deceased celebrities globally with an estimated annual earnings of $14 million, according to Forbes magazine. Now, Marley placed 8 on the annual Forbes list, with most of his earnings coming from his music streams, which the magazine said soared this year after, quote, after the reggae legend accumulated more than 1 billion spins globally, end of quote. Now, Forbes further outlined that the house of Marley, his new line of sneakers, turntables, and headphones, as well as the sales of t-shirts and lighters adorned with his likeness, also added another $3 million to his coffers. Now, Marley ranked 5th on the list of top earning deceased celebrities in the world last year. Meanwhile, pop icon Michael Jackson topped the list for the 8th straight year. Jackson, who died on June 25th, 2009, earned all $48 million for the 12-month period ending up until October 1st of this year. Forbes noted that Jackson was able to retain his top spot on the list despite the release of the damning documentary Leaving Neverland, which was, of course, launched last year. Forbes also ranked Elvis Presley in 5th place overall with an estimated earnings of $23 million, while Juice WRLD was placed at 7th with $15 million. Now, joining Jackson and Presley in the top 5 we have the author and animator Theodore Seuss Giselle, if I pronounced that correctly, popularly known as Dr. Seuss. In the second spot with $33 million, we have Peanuts creator Charles Schultz, who ranked 3rd with the earnings of $32.5 million, and golf legend Mr. Arnold Palmer, who placed 4th with $25 million. Now, of note, basketball legend Mr. Kobe Bryant, of course, joined that list at number 6 after he made $20 million following his death in a helicopter crash earlier this year. Now, Forbes has said that its annual list of top earning dead celebrities was determined, by the pre-tax income from October 1st, 2019 through October 1st, 2020. Ron, I think a very shining example that our legacy continues on even when we leave this earth, but also a very sobering reminder as well to live up to your deepest and fullest potential while you're here.
I absolutely agree. And who doesn't love some Bob Marley? Timeless music.
Yes.
So great stuff there. Continuing on the local scene here in the Virgin Islands native Ray Nitti, also known as Ray Boynes, announced the international release of his new short dance film, Champion Style, a dance film by Jade Charan. As the world was shutting down due to the COVID-19 pandemic, a team of US-based and internationally respected creatives were in the British Virgin Islands shooting Champion Style. This powerful short film follows Milwaukee rap star Ray Boynes, as he goes back to his native island of Tortola here in the beautiful British Virgin Islands to learn about the origins of an Afro-Caribbean dance called Bambula, told through the choreography of UCLA-trained dancer Jade Charan Robertson. Now, the film illustrates how dance can be a tool, which we know very well, to help free Black bodies. Music for the project is the Grammy-nominated producer Business Boy, Philly Flyboy, who has directed music videos for Kendrick Lamar, Snoop Dogg, and T.I., and served as the director of photography. Now, the project was executed by and produced by Dr. Rob Biko Baker, Stranger Fruit, and Snoop Lions' No Guns Allowed National campaign. It was an amazing experience to go home and create this project with my family. Tortola is a magical place and they showed us a lot of love, said Ray Nitti, the BVI tourist board. He continued, especially Mr. Clive McCoy was so helpful and welcoming. I can't wait to go back and work with them again. There's so much talent in the British Virgin Islands. Now, the team behind Champion Style would like to especially thank Jeanette Scatliff-Boynes, Raul Jugu-Sprov, Alonzo Boynes, Kenesha Sprov, and Jeremy Boynes, who all served as producers on the film. Ray Nitty's niece, Jediah Sprov, was also a dancer on the project. Now, the film was officially released to the international audience on Friday, October 30th, after making its debut at the Milwaukee Film Festival. The film will be streaming at championstyledancefilm.com and other streaming platforms. Now, this magical piece of work, which I encourage everyone to see, is filled with so much emotion, and it is a must-see. Here's a clip. Take a look.
She screams loud like the sounds of winds whistling. Fists land and shake the house like the thunder pounding and pounding and pounding again. Like the rain, her tears flooded the apartment, filled the ocean, and eventually swallowing the streets. Her cries were so screeching loud as shattered windows and split trees. Destroying everything in its path, something so violent has never been seen. Darkness and violence and darkness and violence and darkness and violence, and then there was a silent calm. Quiet enough to hear the heart racing and hear yourself inhale. The smell of devastation and fear fills your lungs. You realize the eye is overhead and you pray nobody's dead. Open the door to look, but just for a moment. In the kitchen where she cooked, the eerie silence was growing. See, the dark eye is just a reminder that stronger winds will soon begin blowing. All the buildings crumble and the ocean begins to part. Boats toss on land, roof torn off, the worst is about to start. Survival was her only option, so she left, so I could play my part.
BVI, baby. British Virgin Islands, this one's for us. Put your hands up. Hearts sing BVI and wave them to the sky. Rock from side to side. Represent the Virgin Islands. Hearts sing BVI and wave them to the sky. Rock from side to side. Represent the Virgin.
Welcome home.
Man, I so happy to be back. I ready to show the people my culture, where I come from, where I grew up.
I haven't seen you since the hurricane. Aye.
Yeah, just mash up everything, no.
Not everything, son.
Jovan, what an amazing piece of work where we see, of course, Virgin Islands culture coming to life, but also the true art that comes with dance. Really remarkable, and I encourage viewers to really not only look at this film and support it, but also take some time to support other local BVI artists who are branching off into similar type of work.
Yes.
It's amazing, and we congratulate Mr. Boynes on a remarkable job.
Absolutely, Ron. I think this is so riveting and telling at the same time when you think about our Black history.
Yes.
But I like what Mr. Ray said. He said dance can be a tool to help free Black bodies. And I think for centuries, Black people, we've been using dance as one of our greatest forms of expression. And I love to see it. But I also think it's so very telling for brand BVI as well. The mere fact that they saw it important to come here to document this series. And I think that should be a perfect reminder to us that we live in paradise and what we have is being recognized on the regional and international scene.
So viewers, remember to take some time to dance.
Yes.
Still ahead, Premier Fahie announces Invest and Stay program to boost the economy, and a new vaccine proves to be 94.5% effective in preventing COVID-19. All this and more when 284 News returns.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Viewers, welcome back. You're watching 284 News. Premier Andrew Fahie, the Honorable Andrew Fahie, that is, said last week that his administration was developing an Invest and Stay program in an effort to attract potential investors. During the announcement, Mr. Fahie said the planned initiative is one that will positively impact the territory through several policies, which will be designed to ensure that locals directly benefit from the opportunities provided. He said, and I quote, "Your government is well aware that COVID-19 has created a lot of uncertainty about how global tourism will perform in the upcoming year. We know that many of our local tourism stakeholders are also trying to imagine how tourism will work under the new regular in 2021. Your government has ensured that adequate measures will be implemented to address this concern." Now, he continued by saying, "We are also working out the details for an Invest and Stay program to attract persons who would like to invest in specific areas of our economy. They would be allowed to live in the BVI, but they will not be afforded the benefits that go with belongership. However, they will be mandated to employ and employ a number of persons in the BVI based on the size of their investment. Now, belongership in the BVI is a person deemed to belong to the British territory as defined by the BVI Constitutional Order. The BVI does not have a constitution. One can be obtained belonger status by descent or marriage. Now, one can also obtain belonger status if residency is acquired through immigration. One residency is obtained, belonger status can be applied for, and once one has obtained belonger status, this person can apply for citizenship. Now, relative to the Invest and Stay program, which will allow persons to stay in the territory for an extended period of time, Mr. Fahie said his administration was in the process of developing the terms and conditions of the initiative. Now, the program was recently announced by Immigration and Labor Minister, the Honorable Vincent Wheatley, during a recent radio broadcast. Now, according to the Premier, the main target group are persons who are able to perform remote working for jobs in their home countries. He said, so these individuals will not be competing in the local job market, but at the same time, they would be renting accommodations, patronizing our businesses, enjoying the BVI tourist experience, that has to offer, and contributing economic activity. Jovan, we see where a similar method was created in Barbados.
Yes,
and we're happy to see that a similar concept is being thought of through the government of the Virgin Islands. I think creativity and ingenuity, no matter the time that it comes, no matter how late it comes, is very important if we're going to continue to navigate through these very difficult times. And I'm sure there are going to be a lot of persons who wouldn't mind working in the beautiful
in
British
paradise?
Virgin Islands.
Oh
Absolutely.
my goodness.
Yes.
I think when Mia Motley, the Prime Minister of Barbados, announced this measure, it was definitely touted as one of the best and most
very creative.
Yes, absolutely genius, and looked at across the world as a model and how we, like you said, how we navigate through these difficult times. And I think we do not need to reinvent the wheel, like we commonly say here, Ron. We can look across the region and across the world and adapt what works for us. So I'm really happy to see. And, you know, conventionally, the persons that visit the BVI are short-term visitors.
Correct.
I think the average is 8.8% or 8.5%. I'm sorry, not 8.8%, but 8 days. That's the average stay in the BVI. And we stand to lose out on a big chunk of those visitors in light of our new protocols and so on. So, of course, redefining and recreating ourselves in a way that is now attractive to new visitors is very important. So viewers, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, but when we come back, there's a new vaccine that is even better than the last one we spoke about just last week. This one, 94.5% effective. I'll let you know what that means for you when we return.
How may I assist you? Yes. You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Viewers, welcome back. Now, the Moderna vaccine is 94.5% effective against coronavirus, according to early data released yesterday by the company, making it the second vaccine in the United States to have a stunningly high success rate. Now, Dr. Anthony Fauci said, these are obviously very exciting results. Infectious, he said, is just as good as it gets. 94.5% is truly outstanding. Now, Moderna heard its results on a call Sunday afternoon with members of the Data Safety and Monitoring Board, an independent panel analyzing Moderna's clinical trial data. They said, and I quote, "It was one of the greatest moments in my life and my career. It is absolutely amazing to be able to develop this vaccine and see the ability to prevent symptomatic disease with such high efficacy," said Dr. Tal Zaks, Moderna's chief medical officer. Now, vaccinations could begin in the second half of December, Dr. Fauci said. Vaccinations are expected to begin with high-risk groups and to be available for the rest of the population next spring. Last week, like we mentioned earlier, Pfizer announced that early data shows its vaccine to be 90% effective against the disease. In Moderna's trial, 15,000 study participants were given a placebo, which is a shot of saline that has no effect. Over several months, 90 of them developed COVID-19, with 11 developing severe forms of the disease. Another 15,000 participants were given the vaccine, and now only 5 of them out of 15,000, 5 of them developed COVID-19. None of the 5 became severely ill. The company says its vaccine did not have any serious side effects. A small percentage of those who received it experienced symptoms such as body aches and headaches, but Moderna plans to apply to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for authorization of its vaccine soon after it accumulates more safety data later this month. Now, Dr. Fauci further said that he expects the first COVID-19 vaccination to begin, quote, toward the latter part of December rather than the early part of December. Initially, there won't be enough vaccine for everyone. The highest priority groups, which include healthcare workers, the elderly, and people with underlying medical conditions, will get the vaccine first. He further said, and I quote, "I think that everyone else will start to get vaccinated towards the end of April," he said, and that will go into May, June, as well as July. It will take a couple of months to do so. Now, Ron, we've been hearing a lot of conversations on the possibility of a vaccine being developed to contain this virus across the globe. Now, we know prior to the grand elections in the United States of America, President Donald Trump, he was really pushing for a vaccine, and a lot of persons were worried about that process because they feel like it was politically directed and inspired, as opposed to doing the ground research that Dr. Fauci thought was important and ensuring that we test and try and ensure that this is the right way for us to go. We do see Pfizer as well as Moderna now coming forward with a pretty high effectiveness rate, if you ask me.
Yes.
Now, the big question remains whether persons will want to take the vaccine in light of our new world order. But I guess that's a question that will be answered in time to come.
Absolutely. Well, Jovan, I must share with the viewers regional counterparts over in St. Kitts, the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris announced recently at a church service that $800,000 has been paid already to secure vaccines for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. So again, to your point, whether or not persons would actually take it, I think this example over in the Federation speaks to forward thinking, whether persons would take it or not. Very proactive measures here. Absolutely. So we see we will continue to follow that.
All right, viewers, that is all the time we have for today, but you can join us on 284media.com. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I'm Ron Grant. Have a happy Monday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.